Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Cosentino, and I am so happy you're here because this episode is for everyone who has ever been on a roll and then have completely fallen off. And I know you know exactly what I mean because we all have been there. You have your routine locked in, you're working out, you're eating well, you're doing all the things, and life feels just so good. And then something happens, a busy week, a trip, something comes up, a hard season, a week where everything just piles up at once, and then suddenly it's been 2 weeks and you haven't done anything that you said that you were going to do. So when that happens, guilt comes in, and it is this vicious cycle of I'll start again on Monday, and it's Sunday night and you are ready to start Monday, and then an inconvenience might happen on Monday, and then you fall off the wagon, and then it's a cycle. And then next Sunday, I'll start tomorrow. A month goes by and you haven't done anything, and you were just constantly repeating that vicious cycle. I know this cycle. I've lived this cycle, and today we're going to break it. We're going to talk about all the things to get out of this cycle. We are just not going to let this happen anymore. So here's what I want you to know before we even get into it, is consistency was never about doing things perfectly. It's always about just not stopping and just still showing up every single day. And this is something that I have had to work on. I have an all or nothing mindset, and if I can't do it perfectly, then why the heck do it? And if you ever want to achieve anything in life, you need to get out of that mindset. So that is exactly what this episode is all about today. So let's get into this week's dose, and then we'll get right into the nitty-gritty of the episode. All right, so this week, what I'm consuming, this coffee shop in Geneva. So I'm home on vacation for the 4th of July, and I'm at my Nani and Papa's house looking out the window at the lake, and the sun is shining. It is absolutely gorgeous out. After this episode is recorded and uploaded, I will be on that dock tanning. So anyways, they opened up this coffee shop in Geneva called Grounded, and my brother and his fiance talk about it all the time. So when I was here a couple months back, I went a few times and was like, dang, this is really good. So then it has become a routine habit this whole week. I would go for a walk, and then I would go get a coffee at Grounded, and I would get a medium cold brew with sugar-free vanilla and sugar-free caramel. And the mix of both of those is just like unreal. I don't know why I've never done that before, but it's so good. Their coffee in general just tastes so good. And it's really like not that expensive. It was like $5 maybe, but I would get my brother one. So it's like $11 down the hatch every time. So I went to Wegmans and got a jug of cold brew because I'm like, I can't keep coming here every single day and spending all of my money on this cold brew. So that is what I'm consuming. Next, what I'm working on, and I am so excited about this. I have for so many years wanted to start a blog, and I have tried and tried and tried, and I would get it set up and it was just never perfect. And here we go, being consistent, not perfect. It was never perfect, and I never was consistent or proceeded with it. And now that I have figured out this whole BTY brand, I finally have an idea of what I want it to look like, and things are starting to fall into place. So I started creating a blog, and it's just on Wix. I'm just building it. I found a template that I liked, and I'm just kind of building it, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a start. I've spent this week kind of building it, and it looks so good so far, and I'm so excited to get it set up, because then it's just going to kind of be a home for all of the podcast, the B2Y social media, my fashion tips, and all of my links that you guys can shop and outfits that I put together. So I'm really excited about having a place for everything, so it could be a one-stop shop for people when they come across my brand. So I'm going to circle back to the what I'm consuming, because I just listened to another podcast yesterday, the Bosniks, they went and took a course at Harvard, and they talk about business and building a brand and all of that stuff. And it was really interesting. So I would check that out if you're interested in building a business, building a brand, becoming a creator. And there's some really good key takeaways from it. So I would check that out if you are interested. So third is what I'm loving, and Pilates game, like I mentioned last week. and I needed to get some new workout Pilates clothes, and I've been loving the Aerie sets, and I've been an Aerie girl for years, and they just never miss, and their stuff is just so good, so high quality. Their sweatshirts, their leggings, their everything. So I've gotten a few biker short sets, and I love them, and just throwing on a t-shirt with it is just kind of my go-to. And I wore it yesterday and I wasn't doing Pilates. So it's just a cute casual outfit. I am an Aerie reel maker, so it's kind of like their influencer program a little bit. And I do have a code that you guys can use. I'll link it in the show notes, and you can shop like my storefront on Aerie. They have just like great summer pieces. Their swimsuits, hands down, the best swimsuits I've ever tried. I last year didn't buy any from Aerie, and I completely regret it because nothing just fit as good as those ones did. So I made a point this year that I'm just going to be buying my Aerie swimsuits. Also, Amazon. I've been ordering a lot from Amazon recently and just love the things that I've been finding. So I will also have my Amazon storefront linked in the show notes if you want to go check that out. Okay, so that's your dose for the week. So now let's get into the episode. And point one, we are going to talk about the all or nothing trap. I want to start here because I think this one is the root of everything. And until you understand why it keeps happening, you're just going to keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. And the reason most of us fall off when life gets busy is because something called the all or nothing thinking. The all or nothing mindset. It is, if you can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. And this is something that I have struggled with for years about anything that I want to do or achieve. Something that once you recognize it, you're like, oh shit, I do that. And how do I get out of that? When life gets chaotic and you can't do like the full workout, you do no workout. When you can't eat perfectly, you throw the whole week away just because you had a slip up with your diet here and there. When you miss one journal entry, you just stop journaling entirely. And the problem isn't that life gets busy, because life is always going to get busy. The problem is we've built routines that only work when everything is perfect, and nothing is going to be perfect for long. That's why you have routines and discipline, because those are what keeps you consistent. Here's a belief that I want you to challenge starting today. And that belief is consistency means never missing a day. That is not what consistency means. Consistency means you keep coming back to it. It means missing a day and showing right back up the next day, and missing a week and showing right back up the following week. It's not a streak, it's a commitment that you have to make to yourself every single day. And when you believe that one missed day breaks your consistency, you give that one missed day way too much power, and you let one hard day turn into weeks off, and that is what we're fixing today. Talked about on here the bounce back method, and I've learned that from the activations that I listen to. Once you can figure out your bounce back rate and getting it down to a science, that is what's going to truly change your life. You had a slice of pizza yesterday for dinner. Okay, how long is it going to take you to bounce back? Is it going to take a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a month? And if you can master that and bounce back immediately, that is where change happens. That is where you are going to change your life and not let a slip up derail you from all the progress that you've made for months, whatever. And I have been there so many times with my workout or my nutrition, and it's like something that I still struggle with, no doubt. Now we're going to go into routines versus systems. And this is the part that I think is going to change how you approach everything. And it comes down to understanding the difference between what a routine is and what a system is. A routine is when life gets calm, and a system is what works when life gets chaotic. Most of us, we only have routines. We start building these routines. It's good to have routines. It's a good starting point for this whole new idea of things, this new idea of consistency and discipline. Your routine is the full version. It's the 5 a.m. wake up, it's the hour-long workout, it's the perfectly prepped meals, it's the journaling, the reading, all of it. And it works great when you have all the time and energy and the space for it, but the second something disrupts it, a trip, a long work week, something emotional or hard comes in, the whole thing collapses because it was never built to survive disruption. It was built around the perfect weeks, the perfect mornings, the perfect evenings that we have. And a system is different. It is a full version, and you also build a minimum version. And the minimum version is the thing that keeps you in the game when life gets hard. It keeps you consistent. It keeps you on that routine system basis. I want to introduce you to a concept that I think will be easy for people to kind of refer back to, and that is the floor, not the ceiling. And this one, it's pretty simple to understand. So your ceiling is what you do when you have all the time and energy in the world. You have time for your full workout, your complete nutrition, your morning routine, your steps in for the day, and that is perfect. And you should aim for that 99% of the time. The floor is what you do no matter what. Even on the hardest days, even when you're traveling, work is insane, when you're exhausted, the floor is going to be your non-negotiables. Your floor has to be small enough that you can always do it. It's a 20-minute walk. It's getting half your water intake. It's reading 1 to 2 pages of your book. It's setting aside at least 5 minutes of journaling. Whatever it is, it has to be something that you can say yes to even on your worst days. Once you have your floor locked in, you stop falling off because there's no longer a version of a busy day where you do nothing. There's just a version where you do less, and doing less is going to be 100% better than doing nothing. For example, my floor right now looks like exactly that. Getting my workout in the morning if I know I have a busy day, or figuring out where I can get my steps in throughout the day so I feel consistent and I feel good. Or making sure that I'm drinking as much water as I can and setting goals for myself for that. Or taking 5 minutes to read and journal and kind of doing that together. And when you make space for the things that you enjoy and the things that you want in your routine, it's going to make you feel better. If you're having a bad day or if you're having a busy week, you should always set that time aside for yourself because it's just going to make you feel better, a lot less stressed, and a lot less anxious because you're not on your game. You're not on your routine. 4 things that will actually keep you consistent when life gets busy, and you should take notes on this because these ones are important. Number 1 is shrink it, don't skip it. A 20-minute workout still counts. Half your water still counts. A page of your book still counts. Same with 5 minutes of journaling, it still counts. Doing the minimum versions of your habit is 1,000 than doing absolutely nothing at all, because it keeps the identity alive and it tells your brain that you're still somebody who does this. You build that confidence and you start seeing little bits and pieces of progress. When you have a hard day and when you don't have time for the full thing, you can show up in whatever capacity you have that day. And that is still showing up, and that is still a win. Number 2 is protect your non-negotiables. These are going to be the 2-3 things that are always something that you want to accomplish no matter what. No matter how busy the week is, no matter how you feel, no matter what is happening around you, you need to get these things done. These are going to be your non-negotiables. Everything else in your routine can flex around these non-negotiables. These do not move. And the reason this works is because when life gets hard and you feel like everything is falling apart, you feel stressed out, chaotic, your non-negotiable become your anchors. They give you something to hold on to. They keep you in the game even when the rest of the routine is on pause or just chaotic. My current non-negotiables are making sure if I can't get my workout in, to at least hit my step goal, at least hit 10,000 to 15,000 steps every day, because that just means I'm keeping my body moving and I'm moving my body throughout the day, and that just makes me feel good. The next non-negotiable is making sure I'm drinking my water. I always have my water next to me in a water bottle, in a Stanley cup. It is always there and I'm always hydrated, especially when you are out in the sun or you're traveling. Whatever that looks like, hydration is key and it makes you feel so much better. And then I would say that my next non-negotiable would be my activations / journaling / reading. If I am getting my steps in, I can have a stack and listen to my activations. If in the morning I wake up and I'm drinking my coffee, I can do my journaling. So those non-negotiables help keep me grounded and keep me from going insane, honestly. The third is plan for the disruption before it happens. And this is the one most people skip. Before a busy week, before a trip, before something inconvenient, sit down and decide in advance what is that minimum version and what does that look like. Don't try and figure it out in the moment when you're already stressed out, exhausted, overwhelmed. Decide ahead of time. In the beginning of the week, ask yourself, what is my plan for this week? What are my non-negotiables? What does my floor look like? And write it down, because having a plan going into a week, whether it's an easy week, a hard week, changes everything. You're not reacting when an inconvenience happens. You are just executing, and you are just like still eyes forward. Nothing is going to get in my way and derail me from whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Number 4, and this is the one I'm currently at right now, is really important for especially the summer when everybody is traveling or you're out of your routine. You're like, kids are out of school, you're traveling, you're going on vacation, you're doing things on the weekends. So that is build a travel routine. Travel is one of the biggest consistency killers because your entire environment changes. Your gym isn't there, your kitchen isn't there, your normal schedule doesn't exist. When your environment changes like that dramatically, it's really easy to just let everything go for the trip and tell yourself, you'll get back to it when you're home. That doesn't mean you have to completely stick to your plan 100%. Like, I can't have a cheat meal. I need to get my workouts in. That is not the case. You have to enjoy yourself on your trips, on your adventures, whatever that looks like. But like I said before, you don't need your full routine. Especially when you're traveling, you just need the anchor. The thing that is yours no matter where you are and what can you get done. Maybe that's a morning non-negotiable. You wake up, you drink your water, you go for a walk before the day starts. Maybe it's something you do in the afternoon, like go for a walk, go for a workout, journal a little bit. Pick a healthy snack or a healthy meal choice. And then again, with your evening, is it your skincare routine? Is it your reading before your bed? Is it kind of decompressing from everybody and going to sit by yourself for a little while? Just pick one anchor that travels with you, and it doesn't have to be your full routine. It just has to be something, because the difference between a trip where you had nothing and a trip where you had something to hold on to is massive. Like I said in the beginning, I'm at home in New York for a week. And this is one thing that would stress me out so much when I was traveling. And that is, well, how the heck am I going to get my workout in? How am I going to stay consistent with my eating and my diet? And it would just stress me out and I would not enjoy myself. What I started to figure out is just building that routine and having the non-negotiables to help me through the week. So what that looks like here is, in the morning, I would wake up, I do my journaling, and I wake up early. So there's no issue with if you're embarrassed to do that with people waking up or whatever that looks like. So I knock that out, and then I go for a walk around the lake. And so boom, already got my workout and my steps in. And then add some fun into that. Okay, so I'm going to go grab a coffee after my walk. And that's the kind of motivation that gets that done. Healthy meal. Okay, I'm going to eat a healthy breakfast and something high protein that's going to keep me satisfied throughout the day. So boom, I'm already setting myself up for success. Another thing is, if you're traveling and you usually stay in hotels, can you opt for an Airbnb? That way you have a fridge and you have kind of the space to maybe get a home workout in or cook some meals, and so you're not eating out every single meal. So there's ways that you can do it and ways you can go about it. And you just kind of have to think about it ahead of time and think, okay, so what can I add into my vacation, add into my travel that helps keep my routines consistent? Last point, and this one is for everyone who's already fallen off and you're trying to figure out, how do I get back on? How do I bounce back? The first thing that I want you to hear is, you don't need to start over completely. You just pick it back up. And these are two completely different things. When I used to do 75 hard, this is something that kind of I had to reteach my brain, that because 75 hard says if you mess up on one point, you have to completely start over from scratch. It's just this vicious cycle, and that is good for the discipline aspect of it, but to live your life, you cannot live your life like that, because you're just going to keep going through that vicious cycle. So you just need to pick back up right where you left off. And I'm finally learning that and allowing myself to live my life and pick myself back up immediately. Picking back up means that you acknowledge you got off track and you figure out why, and you just get back onto it. You don't need to start on Monday. You don't need to start the first of the month. You don't need that perfect moment. You just need to pick it back up and allow yourself and give yourself that grace and just move forward. Don't keep dwelling on it. The biggest mistake I see people make when they fall off is just waiting And that's waiting for Monday, waiting for the first day of the month, waiting until this event happens, waiting until this trip is over, and just waiting for everything to align and be perfect before you can start again. The perfect restart just does not exist. The only restart that works is the imperfect one you do right now. It's the messy, the incomplete, the not fully ready version. Get back on track. So if you have been off track, this is your moment. Get back on it. Consistent people don't miss and then they stay gone. They miss and they bounce back. That is the whole thing. And that is the entire difference between someone who has the life that they want and someone who keeps starting over. It's not that consistent people never have hard weeks, and it's not that they never fall off or get busy or lose momentum. It's what they do, how fast they can bounce back every single time without making a bigger deal than it is and dwelling on the mistake that they made. The goal is to never be perfect, and it's always just keep going. 4 things I want you to walk away with today is that consistency is not about never missing. It's about always coming back, building a system, not a routine. Know your floor, know your ceiling, and protect each. Shrink it, don't skip it. Protect your non-negotiables, plan for disruption, and when you travel, build that travel anchor. And last, you don't need to start over, you just need to pick right back up. Listener challenge for this week. 2 things. First, identify your floor. Write down the minimum version of your routine that you will do no matter what, no matter when life gets busy. And second, if you have a trip or a busy week coming up, write your travel or busy week plan before it starts and try and figure that out. Don't figure it out in the moment. Send me a DM over on Instagram at BTY with Jenna. If you're not already following or subscribed to the show, do that right now whenever you are listening. New episodes every Wednesday, and I promise you don't want to miss what is coming up. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you guys, and I will see you next week, and go be better than yesterday.